Hey guys, this is Carlton. This is Carlton, Coach Carl, Coach CO2, back with another episode. It's been a minute since I've been with you guys. Reason being is that I've been trying to finalize and craft the website, which is going to hold all of the coursework, also guides and reading material that I think is going to really help you as a 1L student. So I've been a little bit busy, but I want to just kind of get on and talk with you guys. I had a chance to do a little bit of thinking the past few days about the cost of law school and the time and energy that you put into law school. And I want to discuss a little bit of that today and why it's so important that this year is so important, your first year, to be able to set you up for a major win if you just really focus and go hard this year. So, but before we dive into that discussion, I first want to acknowledge our sponsor. And the sponsor of this show is 1lplaybook.com. 1lplaybook.com is the A to Z guide for first year students when it comes to resources, tools, and study guides that will help them not only prepare for class and brief effectively and also be prepared for class. I think I said that already. But it also will help the student get ready to have maximum achievement on their first year law school exams. So make sure you do go over to the 1lplaybook.com. The site actually should be live next week. If whatever reason you click and you don't get there, just continue to check back here, and I'll be posting some information that will tie back into that. So that is the sponsor. Obviously, we're self-sponsored for this podcast. So I just wanted to mention that. But anyhow, I had a chance to think about the cost of law school. Most people just think about cost as something that's out of pocket. That's something that maybe it takes some time or whatever for you to not time, but takes something out of your pocketbook. But many people don't really qualify cost as it pertains to time and then opportunity cost. Okay? So I want to talk about that, and I want to kind of write it out in a way. Write it out in a way where it makes even more sense. So it's been a while since I've been in law school, but I remember when I was in law school was extremely expensive. So I did a little bit of math. Let me see here. Let me pull my laptop out. I want to talk directly about this because this is something that I think is very key. Now, we're going to talk about cost, but we're also going to talk about payoff. So, hold on one second. All right, so in 2019, the average cost of tuition and fees for a private law school, was $49,000. Oh, drop my pen. Let me use this one. $49,312 per year. I don't know if you guys can see that. All right. Now, obviously, we know there's 3 years here. Let's just round this up to $50,000. So you're talking about total cost. Okay, total cost $150,000. Whether you use student loans or whether you pay out of pocket, it's $150,000. That's a lot of money over a 3-year time period. Now, the other thing the other cost that I want to build in here is, in order for you to go to law school, that means that you're using that time to go to law school that you could have been using to do something else, right? So let's say that something else would have been having a job. So let's say, obviously you finished college because you're in law school. So let's say college graduate average salary. So college graduate average salary, okay, national average. We gotta go national. National average is going to be about $55,000. If you're coming out of college, just average, it's going to be $55,000. So let's put that over here. Let's put it here, $55,000. So you multiply that by 3. That's another $150,000. This is your opportunity cost. Okay. This is the time that if you would have been spent, if you've not gone to law school, you decided you were going to continue to work. This is your opportunity cost here. $150,000 of money that you would have lost. You're paying $150,000. You lost money you would have lost is $150,000. So it's costing you that. So when you add these two up, it's $300,000. All right. Now, here's the question: what's the payoff? What's the payoff for actually going to law school? So we're going to do this in a couple different ways. We're going to do average law school graduate salary. Average law school graduate salary. Okay, it ranges from, the median is $77,000. Okay. Now, interesting here, they give some other information here that says, but if you are working at some of the more larger law firms, you can reach somewhere between $190,000 a year. Let me get another stat on that. Okay, yeah. I'm actually getting $180,000 is what you could very well get up to. So depending on what law school you're going to, depending on a lot of different factors, you could come out making potentially that. That's your payoff. But your average is going to be somewhere around $77,000. So I want to kind of go through these numbers, and I want you guys to kind of know these numbers, because I feel like your first year is really the opportunity for you to do the very best you can do in law school that will influence how you're ranked in law school. With that ranking influences the internships you get, and those internships influence this payout. Whether you're going to get $77,000 out of your first year or all the way up to $180,000. So it's extremely important that you do extremely well, because that your first year outcomes dictate whether you get this or you get that. It's just the math. So if you're going to be spending $300,000 on your law school career, how much is it worth to you to get the guide, the resources, the knowledge to potentially take you from making $77,000 to getting closer to $180,000 a year job, which all breaks down to how well you score on your law school exams your first year. It's just that simple. How well you score on your first year law school exams puts you in play to be able to get the internships, which puts you in play to get you the job. You know, I would love to say that your second year is just as impactful as your first, but your first is really the biggest, because once you get the internship, you get on the job, you know, the partners love you, they think, you know, that you'll be a good fit. Come the second year, they're going to bring you back again for a second year. Then after that, they're going to make you an offer. In the second year, they're not going to re-interview you and say, okay, let me take a look at your grades. So you can very well do extremely well your first year and just be average your second year and still be at one of the top law firms or one of the top internships in your area, simply because you just crushed your first year exams. So it is critical. It is so critical that you get all the resources that you need. Now, you figure that if you're going to be spending, let's just go with your first year. You're going to be spending $49,000 a year. Now, mind you, this is not including your housing. This is not including your housing. This is not including, other expenses. So really, this number a year is really like, you might as well add another $25,000 to this. So you might as well say $75,000 a year is what you're really spending. That's really what's going on here. But you figure if you're going to be spending $75,000 plus the opportunity costs, which we already figured out is another $50,000, you're talking about $125,000. How much are you willing to spend? How much is it worth to you to spend to get an edge on making sure that you get the very best scores you possibly get in your first year of law school? Is that worth $1,000? Is it worth $2,000? Is it worth $5,000? Knowing that maybe that $5,000 investment is going to be able to get you potentially $180,000, or if you want to be more practical about it, if you're spending $125,000, if you're saying 5% of your education budget should go to some form of aids or knowledge or guides, that right there is $6,000. So I'm not saying all this as a sales pitch, but I just want you all to really kind of factor in what the true cost and what the true outcome and the true rewards are, and the importance of investing in yourself to make sure that you're going to get the maximum results that you're looking for. So that was basically it. Obviously, one place you can go to be able to get some items that's going to help you. There's many places, but one place you can go is you can tap into our resources that we have over at the 1L Playbook. They're not going to be $5,000. It's not going to be $10,000. But it's going to be extremely reasonable, where you're going to be able to get plugged in with things that's going to really, really help you and give you an impact immediately. It's not going to be something where you got to go through, you got to wait and see. No, you're going to get an immediate impact on how you do things on a day-to-day, immediate impact on getting clarity on how you need to prepare for your exams. And so I definitely encourage you to go check that out. But this is just something that I wanted to go to, the true economics of attending law school and the payout. So that's it, guys, for today's show. Make sure you guys continue to follow us on Facebook. We have the 1L Playbook page. Make sure you like the page. Also, make sure if you're not in law school, maybe you grab this video or this podcast, shoot it over to somebody who is going to law school or maybe about to attend law school. So definitely, and if you find me on YouTube, please subscribe. If you're listening to me on Apple Podcasts or any other podcast platforms, make sure you leave a review. You like us. And that's it for today. This is Coach CO2. And we'll be back with another show soon. Take care.